Gotta get up and get it, I got some funds to approach. Big dog off the chain, can't stay on the poach. I'ma get what I deserve, I've been working the most. It's around the corner, I feel like I'm close. I don't need no navigation, just a Pandora station. I use my spirit as my compass, deviating location. I'm checking geographics, I bury many hatches. If you ever sleeping on me, hope you're down your mattress. Had some nights and no rest, but nevertheless I'm still blessed. I use the powers of my prayers to overcome being stressed. I was working with less, like my name Mr. Rogers, taking trophies from opponents like the Stros did the Dodgers.
Rolling.
Welcome back to the Quest Podcast.
You sound nervous, man. You sound nervous, man. Relax, loosen up.
But we back. It's your boy Neezo. Haven't been in this setup yet, but you know it's a new setup. We got Parrain on the cameras.
Yeah.
We even got
Messa Montana right here. Yeah. How's it going?
Let the people know who you are, man.
Yeah, man. I'm Messa Montana. I rap, I produce, just trying to be an all-around artist, man. But thank you for having me today, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
No problem. It's love, man. And you said you rap and produce.
Yeah.
So, which one do you love more?
Yeah, that's actually kind of a difficult question because I started off producing before rapping, I guess. I had a love for rap kind of first, but I started off producing first before I started writing, and it was because it was just it was something I wasn't shy to do. I feel like I was shy to rap in front of people and freestyle in front of people, but when it came to producing, like I could just do it on my own time, and I can show somebody an end product first instead of just kind of like this raw material writing, you know. So I'm pursuing a career in rapping, but it does not hurt to have another source of income when it comes to producing. So definitely both have a great part of my heart, you know. But
and I bet it's a little bit better too, because you know your sound, and you're making your sound at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's a good combo that you have going.
It is difficult though. It is difficult because I know that I have a certain sound, but it's just sometimes I want to make beats and I gotta kind of choose in between, like, okay, which ones do I write to? You know, which ones draw inspirations for me to start writing out to, or which ones should I start, you know, selling or showing to other people or giving, you know? So it gets difficult on that terms because sometimes I want to be selfish and be like, oh man, I gotta get on this beat.
It's too far. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's just I think whichever one, you know, really brings about my best lyrics, you know, or whatever I'm trying to, you know, write about.
So when did you start producing?
Man, I started producing. I want to say my freshman year in high school was the first time I got my hands on a software to use to make beats off of. I got it from my older brother. I think it was pirated at the time, but you know he handed me all the sounds and the software, and I just remember coming home every day, like literally every single day. And I used to hoop instead of like going off practices and stuff. I would just come home, just throw that off to the side, and just start, you know, trying to make a beat every day, you know, off of the random folders that he sent me. So it was around 14, but it wasn't around till like 18 or 19 that I started kind of like learning how to be better instead of just kind of messing with it, you know, or creating it. Like I had another friend of mine, his name's Javier. He showed me Fruity Loops, and he gave me Fruity Loops. And Fruity Loops it stuck with me a long time, you know, and he kind of taught me a lot. But I think when I got older, I switched over to Native Instruments machine software. Mm-hmm. So that's what I produce off of now. But you know, it started off around 14, but I think each stage was a little different. You know, it was kind of more of a hobby, and then around 18, 19 became more serious on promoting it, putting it out SoundCloud or giving it to other people, selling them, or either, you know, writing to them. So yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I guess the next question: when did you start rapping? Because you say you started producing first, right?
Yeah.
So when did you start the rapping part?
You know, I started writing around the same time, but really, like, I guess trying to invest in it or go into it, like rapping was kind of around 17 or 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my first kind of rap group around that time, and we started rapping some, and I had a good friend named Oscar. We used to just kind of go at it with lyrics, help each other, share this verse. He was the first person I got really comfortable with, like kind of sharing my verses with, and that's what really drew that, like I said, that interest into actually overcoming that shy or that fear of sharing this verse that I had,
Yeah.
So, and that's when that became a little bit more serious.
Okay.
Sometimes it be taking that person, that's like, man, you cold. You gotta keep doing it.
Yeah,
so
man.
That's like who that person was.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Rest in peace to Oscar, man. He's gone,
Oh,
man. Whenever I met him, he and I just like clicked. Like it was like, cause he wanted to get better at the same time I wanted to get better. But my brother, who kind of taught me how to produce and stuff like that, he introduced a lot of the music to me, and it's funny because that's how I met my friend Oscar. They were just friends in high school, and he looked up to my brother the same way I looked up to him. So he and I just clicked like, hey, we got the same, what's the word, like icon or same like
Adoration.
Yeah, adoration for this person who really inspires us. And so he and I kind of became brothers, and that's how like I got better rapping, and at the same time he did, because we were just kind of like growing off of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, don't they say what iron sharpen iron? Huh?
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. Yeah, definitely.
So that group. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, that group that you say you was in a group. Did y'all have a name or?
Yeah. So with him, with Oscar, we started that rap group. It was me, him, and my friend Javi, who kind of got me better producing, and Oscar got me better rapping. And we were called TOR, Theory of Rhyme.
Okay, Theory of Rhyme.
Yeah. It kind of ended short with Oscar's death, because we started kind of recording. Fun fact though, y'all used to record y'all's podcast at Parrain Studios. Our first song was recorded at Parrain Studios, man.
Hey.
Yeah. So yeah.
Shout out to Parrain, man.
Shout out.
Parrain is like a hub, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many artists actually go through Parrain, but like it's a lot. I didn't mean to cut you off from your story, man. But like Toby, he does there. Trilly Pope goes there. I think
Travis Scott started there too.
I was just about to say Travis started there. I heard K-Dot.
K-Dot did
he
Mad City, I think one of his songs there.
Correct. What was that? The Backseat.
Freestyle.
He did that there, man. It's like who would have thought?
Yeah, I know.
But Parrain, that's like a little hub spot, man.
Yeah.
Hold it down.
Yeah, they really are, man. And I like their work. I just like, and I like the people there. They're really cool, man. Really cool, kind of showing us the ropes. I think. Like the second time we recorded there, like they were kind of giving us advice on like, oh, you know what, like let's do this to kind of make the song like stand out a little bit more, like the vocals to stand out. And then like I think like a third time I went there, and they were like trying to offer me like, hey, we have these beats, do you want to rap to them, and I was just like, I like the vibe I was getting from Parrain, man. It was always really cool, man, always cool. But that was years ago, man. That was like 2010, I think, and I was 18, but. I guess to end the story with the TOR, like it kind of ended around the time, Oscar, the passing of Oscar, and then that's when I kind of went like individual route, But since then, I think I started solo because I went with another group later on, like a couple years down the road, back in 2015. Started a group with my older brother at the time, actually.
Okay.
The one who got you.
The one that got me into music, man. So it was cool to kind of have like a 360. Like I went my own route, with my own friends, and then he kind of did his own thing. But then, like, because he's 8 years older than I am, so like, when I was 10, he was 18. He's off, trying to set off his career. So finally, we came 360. And we're like, hey, we're finally this group now. Let's start things up. But that the group that I was with him was called Third Class. We had a band and everything, and it was really awesome, really cool, And that was when I kind of got back into music a lot and writing and stuff like that. So, but I went solo actually 2017. This time last year, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I decided to go solo, man.
So what made you want to go solo?
I think ever since starting, I wanted to do solo. Not saying that I'm not like wanting to work with other people or anything, but just I don't know, man. I felt like I had the experience with the band and stuff like that, or rap groups, but it was just it was that time, and I had that I don't know. I'd always wanted that want to do solo, but I think I got married around this time last year too.
Okay.
And realizing like appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
1 year into it.
Yeah, 1 year into it, man. And I really felt like the responsibility of taking care of my wife and stuff like that, like that really that's a lot of weight on my shoulders, you know. I'm like, and so I started realizing, you know what, like I gotta go, you know. I was determined. I was like, you know what, maybe it's just best to just do solo and just go at it, you know, and just see how far I can take this. So,
yeah, you gotta go as a man.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I feel like I had something to prove. I don't know.
I think that's a man thing. I really do, man. It's kind of a mixture of pride, but it's you want. Obviously, you want to be everything that you possibly can for your wife.
Yeah.
You know, that and so much more. And it's like, okay, I have the responsibility of being a husband, you know, but at the same time, I want to pursue my career. So it's like, it's all or nothing. I have to give everything that I want my all. Otherwise, what am I doing it for?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so.
Also, you coming from life where, you know, you learning from everybody else. But now it's to the point where you have to do it. You can't. Everybody who told you everything, it's time for you to put it all together, make it work. So, you know, you gotta go out there and do those things, especially as a man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I really feel that.
We were listening to your music and we got a certain message from it, so we just want you to, you know, kind of share that and let everybody know about your message from your music.
Yeah, absolutely. About 4 or 5 years ago, man, I started kind of going down a quest of like spirituality, like, you know, trying to find a deeper meaning in life and purpose and stuff like that. And I think, thankfully, you know, I came across Christianity, and that's so I'm a faith-based man. You know, I definitely try to live out my faith, and I feel at the time that I started, you know, placing my faith in God, and I actually stopped writing music. Like, I felt like the type of writer that I am, I definitely express like my experiences, my personal life, and I quit music because I felt like I didn't know enough. You know, I felt like I didn't want to be writing about something I didn't know. Like I come across people, just, you know, like, you don't want to come across a salesman who's trying to sell a truck to you but knows nothing about it. You know, like you're not going to buy that truck from him. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So like, I thought about that and I was like, oh man, I don't want to come across as that person. So I actually like quit writing music. I kind of just kind of anchored down in my spiritual walk and started like went to school, and I went to college of biblical studies. Actually, it's not too far from this area, but that interest that I had in just learning about God, like it just started like building a want and a love to want to share that as well. And so somebody had just actually, it was my brother who insisted, like, hey, you know, maybe start writing again. So I ended up started writing again, and at first I was kind of iffy about it. I was still on the fences of like kind of whether getting back into music or not. Yeah. But I think it was whenever I started sharing those new songs about my faith and my walk with people in my past who, you know, may not be on the same spiritual walk as me, but they saw me as a friend and were willing to talk about things, you know. And when I shared that music with them, seeing the way that they would respond to it, you know, or they would say, man, like your lyrics really touched my heart, you know, or they, you know, they made me want to, you know, seek a deeper walk with God or something like that. That's whenever I felt like my purpose or my meaning behind my music was really like clear and like solid. Like, you know what, this has a deeper purpose than just my musical career, you know. Yeah. And so now with every song that I write, it's very intentional, very, very intentional, very purposeful. I definitely try to, whether the person believes a certain, you know, religion that I'm in or a spiritual walk that I'm in or not, like as long as they're trying to, as long as they can gain some positivity out of it, you know, like some change or something, like that's what I'm here for, you know, like I try to bring the other person down, you know, and then we share some life, you know, or some hope, you know. So that's definitely what I write to and write about, you know.
I respect that, man. We need more of that out in this world because there's so much negativity, you know. Like me and my brother James was talking the other day. It was like, it's so much easier to be negative, and to wish harm upon somebody than it is to be positive. Absolutely. Turn the other cheek at times, and just overall just be a positive person. Negativity is so much easier. So with the fact that that's kind of the purpose of your music, to uplift people. Like I said, we need more of that, man.
Growing up, like when I got into hip hop and stuff like that, I listened to a lot of artists in there, like, and they were good. Like I don't knock the creativity in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually where I draw inspiration out of creativity of like my rhyme schemes and wordplay and stuff like that. So, but as a young child, like I would realize how much it was influencing me, like my perspective on women, my perspective on like friendships, or just anything, so really like seeing that, how it influenced me, and just I see like, man, why can't I bring a good influence, and
correct,
because as much as it moved me, like hopefully my music can do the same for somebody else, but in a different perspective, different way. So
what's some of the artists nowadays that you kind of feel kind of go towards, just far as like them being other positive artists,
I mean, I got many actually. So like faith-based artists, like I'll go to like Andy Mineo. I think he's a really good Christian artist. Man, he's nice, man. I'll go to Lecrae sometimes. Some other artists that actually that they don't have to be labeled a Christian artist. I'll go to J. Cole sometimes, man. I'll bump J. Cole. I'll bump K. Dot. But I guess it's just what I'm feeling at the times, So I mean, a lot of people say that like my music's I don't want to say like trap, or it's not really like kind of new updated culture generation. I don't know, a younger generation type music. So definitely I'll go back and listen to like Tribe, and just bump Tribe. I'll go bump like just different people in that, like the Far Side. I'll go bump the Far Side. I like Dilla, so sometimes I'll just throw on some instrumentals.
That makes some great beats.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I'm kind of, my music ears everywhere, man. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You check out. I don't know if you listen to him. D1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say that's one of my favorites right there, because I mean he's not necessarily labeled as a Christian rapper. He don't prefer to have any kind of title at all, but just like he always has a message in every single song, man. So that's what made me like think about it, I was like, man, I wonder if he listen to D1,
or even with like that, because we have music arguments all the time. Like,
we do
Parrain, we have those all the time, and I'm a hip hop head because I like to start, whenever I learn about something, I like to start from the beginning. When I got into music, when I got into hip hop, it was actually Dougie Fresh.
Oh, really?
At that time, I'm in middle school. I really shouldn't even be listening to this. But I'm saying that to say, I also, listen to faith-based, Christian-based rap as well. And what got me into that was a guy named The Truth.
Oh, yeah. I know,
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, when you got into Christian-based or faith-based music, did you go back and do research on people who were doing music before? Because I was listening to The Truth, or the Fanatic.
So you're just like a cross movement and stuff like that. Okay, yeah.
I started listening to that and stopped for a little bit, and that's why you being here was kind of crazy too, because I just decided to get back into listening to that type of music.
That's dope.
So when you brought up Andy Mineo, I started listening to him and Lecrae.
Yeah. And
so I just wanted to hear if you went back and listened to those type of artists that started in that movement.
It's funny because sometimes I'll go back and I think it's all preference with me. I'll go back into the beginning, or to certain artists that kind of started or revolutionized a little bit, started the movement. Mm-hmm. And I've listened to The Truth, but I haven't listened to his whole discography. And I've listened to I like going to Andy Mineo, and I like going to Formerly Known, that album, or Heroes for Sale. I'll go to the beginning of a certain artist, but sometimes I won't dig deep, and maybe I'm not doing honor to the to the artist or to the music. But I think whenever I started getting into faith-based music, I started listening a lot to Andy and Lecrae, but I listened to Swoop. Have you ever heard of Swoop?
I haven't heard of Swoop.
Swoop's a good artist, man, because I felt like I think there was different times in my walk whenever I started kind of digging into different artists, because when I went back to The Truth or like listened to like Stephen the Levite or different, they're more like they call like theologian rappers, like where it's like a lot of it's heavy in thought of scripture, it's heavy in thought of like thinking of theology, whereas in like if you go and listen to Andy or Lecrae, like they got some theology in them, but it's more of like experience based, or it's more like, I don't want to call it superficial because it's not, but it's more like level grounded, where somebody who may not study their scripture can understand, or you know what I'm saying. So when I first started off, that was somebody who I gravitated to because I didn't know much, and I still don't know a lot. You know, I study and stuff like that, but I think there's just more. Just depends on the different ear. You know, like some people like battle rappers, or some people just like one-hit wonders, or just different things like that. I guess there's an ear for everybody. So
yeah.
But yeah, I wish I could go back, or I still can, but sometimes I don't know. I think there's a I don't know.
Disconnect. I mean, we were just talking about that, like the situation that happened with Lil Yachty. You know, he had said that he didn't want to listen. Yeah. And he finally went back and listened to it.
And he apologized for like,
yeah.
So I mean, it happens as long as, I mean, there might be a time where you want to go back and listen to that stuff. But even if it wasn't, it seems like you have a good, foundation of what was going on and what is going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's good in itself. So.
Yeah, as long as you're not like disrespecting like Yachty was or something, But I mean, yeah, man.
I think that's another good thing about like faith-based rap, like you were saying, because I was thinking about this the other day in like the car. I was like, man, you won't get a beef out of like a Christian rapper, and that's a good thing. That's a good.
You know what?
I'm listening to Lecrae and Andy, and I like the way that Andy Mineo spits, like the fast rap that he does. I really like that, and I'm like, man, if he was in a battle with somebody, he would probably rip them to shreds. But that probably won't happen. I'm like, that's a good thing.
I mean, it in a sense, it is though. It is because it goes back to the whole positive thing. Everybody uplifting each other. We don't need all that hatred towards each other, man.
You'd be surprised though, man. You'd be surprised that
it's a faith-based battle rap. I need it.
It actually is.
I need that. But you gotta show me that.
It's like it's not like tearing you down like in battle rap, but it's more of like fun, making fun of in a way that's like passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
so it's kind of like them doing like comedy in a sense.
Yeah, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's unfortunate because, like, man, everybody's in different areas in their walk and stuff like that, and sometimes you can come across people who may be hypocritical, and especially in maybe in their faith and their walk. But and it's unfortunate that, but I've come across very critical videos of people like dogging Andy or dogging like Lecrae for things that they do, or like you get the church saying, oh, he's too secular, or he's living on the edge, living on the fence, or then you get like somebody who's not in the church saying, well, nah, he's too churchy for me. So it's kind of, honestly, though you may not get beef, like you actually get beef from your listeners more than you do like another rapper. Like you'll get criticized from your listeners because they take it to more of like a spiritualized walk, and they'll, it's like you gotta fit this perfect mold in order to please everybody or please both sides, and it's hard, and I commend them for doing that, for Reach Records, for really saying like they were saying, we don't like to be labeled as Christian rappers. We like to be labeled as Christians who rap, a rapper who so happens to be Christian, because on the music side and the secular side, they'll say like, we don't want to give you a shot because we feel like y'all may be too corny, or we don't want to hear Christ, everywhere. So I've heard other Christian rappers who have done their best to actually keep Christ or Jesus out of their lyrics, but still have a Christ-centered message, so that like they can get it to these places where they may have a limit or a barrier for religion. But if it has a message that is bringing hope, or that is very Christian morals or Christian, it can still impact wherever it goes, you know. So that's why I really like, you know, I applaud them for Reach Records. You know, they're reaching, they're trying to reach. You know what I'm saying? So, so I think that's where you'll get most of your beef from, unfortunately, which is weird. You know, it's from the audience. It's weird. You know,
that is weird because I've seen several different comments. You know, as far as like Lecrae goes. You know, and like my uncle, he's a pastor. And I work with him at the church from time to time, just doing different videos, media, and so forth.
Yeah.
But me and him had a conversation as far as rap goes, and he was telling me how it was an adjustment for him, you know, because it took him a minute. Lecrae was the first faith-based rapper that he listened to, and it was like, at first he was kind of on the edge about it. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then he actually started listening to his music and actually listening to the words, and he was like, you know what, I'm okay with it, you know. And then so forth and so on. And now at the church from time to time you might see, you know, a faith-based rapper performing at the church, you know, because my uncle, he does several different things, but one guy in particular that I remember, his name is Seabass, I believe.
Yo, that sounds so familiar.
I want to say he's in a group. I can't remember the other guy's name, but I want to say his name is Seabass. But him and my uncle have a pretty good relationship. When my uncle have certain events, he typically comes out and he performs. You know, so it can be done, you know, as far as bridging that gap, but people just got to keep that open mind and understand what the true meaning and cause of it at the end of the day is. Man.
We've been stopped. We're supposed to go at all.
Your whole point, everything you're trying to get across, and we didn't get that.
Oh, it's rolling.
But no, I think it's just weird because a lot of the times when stuff like that happens, it's like they hear the beat, the 808s, and immediately they're like, oh no, this is not. This is not Christian at all.
And that's go ahead.
No, I was about to say, like, I did a video for my uncle because Hurricane Harvey like messed up their outreach center dramatically. So they had the re-grand opening this past July.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. So I did a video for him, like basically promo saying that it was reopened, and I took a song that I think the song that me and Retro Root performed that day. I took that instrumental and put it on there, and it was me, my uncle, and the church marketing director. And she heard the beat. She's a little bit older than us. She heard the beat. She was like, "Wait!" And then she saw it. She's like, "I like it. I actually love this." You know, because it's kind of, the beat was kind of soulful in a sense, you know. But at the same time, you still had the 808s and you know, you still had your bass and so forth and so on. But that actually, like, that's why I say I don't know if it's the right beat, man. They vibe to it.
What I think it is though is because the hardest thing to at the time when it kind of started off, the hardest thing was to kind of get people's perspective of just hip hop culture in general, like to change it. Like, hey, look, like this can still be an outreach to people and positive message. Like Christ can still work through that area. But because they heard a hip hop beat, 808 or something, they automatically went to the idea of, oh, it's hip hop. Hip hop brings maybe thugs or parties or drugs, and like, so that has to be bad, you know.
Correct. They was focusing on the negative aspect of it.
And so it was just hard for it. It was hard for people to, and I mean anybody. It was just hard for to just rethink and like take that perspective out of it and say, like, you know what, there can be something good that is out of it. You know, like I was going to bring up other ministries, but like I think of, which is crazy, but you know, people I've heard of strippers like who have become Christians going back to or who are prostitutes going back to that community because no one else would go out to reach them. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just like, and of course you think of that environment, you're like, yeah, you know what, I kind of don't want to be surrounded around that environment. But for somebody to have been saved out of the environment, knows the ropes, knows how to do it, but is also going back and trying to bring people out, not staying in, you know what I'm saying, trying to bring people out, that's definitely something that you don't see every day. So, and I think when it started off in hip hop and going that route, it wasn't what they saw every day. It was hard for them to adjust to it, finally adjusted to it. And you know, I'm just thankful that it's come a long way, man. Christian hip hop has definitely been embraced, you know, within the last couple of years, man. And I've been thankful for that so much that I can see like almost in other rap that is not categorized as Christian rap, or just like regular hip hop.
I was just about to say that. You know?
I see a lot of other artists who are secular artists, or just like I see people like J. Cole, say K. Dot. I see man, like who else talks? They talk about their spiritual walk more times now than often. Like you hardly heard that like in a hip hop, and like you can hear it in Kanye. Kanye brings it out a lot, you know. But you know, I'm thankful that some people have asked me, you know, has that made it harder for you to talk about spiritual walk because they may not take you serious if they see somebody who's living this way talking about it, you know, has it made it hard for you? I'm like, you know what, to tell you the truth is actually making it more welcome. They have welcomed my message a little bit more because they have noticed that people in mainstream media who have this big, you know, platform actually talk about it more, you know, and it's actually helped a little guy like me out, you know, like for real.
Nah, man, that is good though, because goes back to what we said before. We need more positivity in this world, and there are rappers like you said with the Cole. You know, I think Crit has a song here and there that he might do as well. D1, you know, goes back to him, but it's artists out there that's like that. But I feel, which I'm gonna get your opinion on too. Do you think it'll come? I believe it will, but do you believe it'll come a point where people won't just say like faith-based rapper? They won't say Christian rapper. They'll just say like, yo, he's a rapper. He's a hip-hop artist. You know, do you think that time will come, or we're already entering it?
I think that, you know, I don't know if it will come. I want to say that if it does come, to tell you the truth, I don't think it's going to like affect me in my position much. Like, because if you look at me as a faith-based rapper or just a rapper in general, like my message doesn't change. You know?
Correct.
So, you know, I hope that if it does go that route, it does make it more welcoming to talk about it. You know, because you know I talk about a lot in my personal walk as a Christian and stuff like that in my lyrics. But you know, to tell you the truth, my music has been more impactful in venues that aren't churches. You know, I've been to like hookah bars and different venues like that, and different just different places that just weren't centered around God, and has been more impactful to that audience a little bit more because they were just more welcome. And I think it has a lot to do with just how we're kind of almost getting to that you know, that point where it's not he's just a rapper and they can talk about, you know, what they want to talk about, you know, so. Nah,
man, that's like I said. I hope it gets to that point at some point in time, because I even noticed like with the track that I did do with Retro, because I'm not a rapper at all, but I just heard the beat and it just clicked something to me, you know. And that song, like, we are talking, you know, about God, you know, and I mentioned about certain things that I've been through in that track, and I was shocked with the response that I got from it, you know, because it was like, wait, what? Y'all like that? Like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Appreciate that, you know. Appreciate it, man, because like I said, I'm not no rapper at all. I had to go up there, like I wrote it, and I'm like, bro, how many bars? That's 8. Yeah.
You'd be surprised, man. I know a lot of rappers that don't know how to count bars, man.
Yeah,
like, for real. Like they're like,
there's a lot of rappers that don't know how to rap. Let's be real.
Yeah, nah, man. But no, like I was like, all right, and I was like, okay, so I'm like, all right, that's 12. He was like, yeah, that's 12. I'm like, all right, cool. And then we go to the studio, we record, and it's like, wait, that slide is for a 16. Like, it is? Why you didn't tell me that before we got here?
How many lines is that?
I'll tell you when it stops.
You know, and I'm like, all right, let me go back. Let me, you know, write a couple more lines to it.
Yeah.
And bam, all right, we got it. Cool, good. Let's go ahead and put it out, man. But so I got another question for you.
Yeah.
What, kind of backtrack a little bit. You mentioned about it came a certain point where you stopped writing. You know, you went and you basically, I shouldn't say you went and found Christ. You know, I'm not sure if that's how you want to word it or what. But what trials and tribulations did you go through to make you like, yo, I need to go down this path? Is that something you want to share?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
if not, I understand. You know,
it's actually definitely part of my music journey.
Yeah.
So I was, like I said, I was 18 and we were recording at Parrain. I was with my boy Oscar and my boy Javi, and we were in this rap group. So around the time we were recording our songs, my friend Oscar was murdered. So it was actually at a bar fight. We were all there. We hadn't gotten to a bar fight, and friend Oscar just ended up getting shot that night. You know, so I ended up losing his life, and that really affected me definitely. You know, because one, I found this love for music, but also found like this companionship, you know, that had the same investment and stuff like that. So we really grew as good friends. And so seeing him murdered, seeing all this kind of just kind of threw me out the window, you know. And I mentioned I played ball earlier. I actually went off to school to go play at Shriner University for my freshman year. And when I went out there, it was just the wrong timing, because it was like my friend got murdered. 2 months later, I'm out going to college, and I'm like going out to I'm from a big city, Houston, so I'm getting sent out to like a college that's smaller than my high school. You know what I'm saying? So it was difficult because I just felt alone. I felt like I needed some answers, some comfort there, you know? And so it just really felt like it got stripped from me, like that dream, that friendship. And so that's what really kind of started throwing me down a dark road. So I was out there for about a year trying to get back right, and just I tried to fill that void that was in my heart with like drugs, with other friendships, with other like women, with school actually. And then when I started like failing school, that I feel like all this stuff started like failing me, you know, like nothing could really fill that hurt that I was feeling. And so I came back home and I actually started pursuing like my music again with my friend Javier. He and I were kind of that death. Because Oscar is what brought me and Javi together. Mm-hmm. That death really drew me and him together. That's when I started getting better producing. That's when I started, me and him started like trying to pick that dream up that we had as a team that kind of failed here, and kind of work it up and continue to go. And when we tried, you know, we had some songs. We were, you know, I only put out like one or two, you know, and because when we're putting out songs, I was really finding myself as a writer at that time. And like I said, I wasn't a Christian, you know, at that time. I was still living, you know, my life. I was just going home, you know, smoking weed, doing drugs, and using that high or something like that to really find that inspiration in my writing. And as you know, it's funny. It's so funny. The things that I was using to really deepen my thoughts and my heart to really come out as an artist, those questions that I was writing my music were the questions I was asking myself, like meanings of life, questions of death, and things like that. Like that, I was thinking, like, man, like this is gonna have people thinking, or this is going, like, the term conscious rapper wasn't around at that time. You know, in 2010, it may have, but it just wasn't around me. Yeah. But at the time when I was trying to be conscious, I was really fronting myself with it. You know, like being upfront with myself, and so. You know, it's funny that when my friend Javier was really pushing me and growing me as an artist, is when those times I started asking myself those questions, and then all of a sudden I remember breaking down in front of him, like we were getting high, and like I was working on a song, and I just looked at him, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I can't do this anymore." He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, you need a break? You need a smoke break? You want to go eat? Let's go. And then we'll come back. Let's start writing." And I told him, I was like, "Nah, I just can't do this. Like I really feel like something's pressing on my heart, and I just cannot avoid this feeling. Like there's just something there, you know." And I knew about God. I went to a Catholic church and stuff like that, but I just never took him serious, you know. And I knew it was God. So I remember the first person I thought of was my brother. So my brother has played a big part of my life. So not only as a musical inspiration, but also like I was raised in a divorced family. So my brother was really like my father figure. So different steps that he took in his life are definitely some that I took. And I'm just thankful that around the time when I was soul searching, he was already a Christian. Because he was the first person I called. Like, he was the first person I thought of. Like, yo, I feel this feeling on my heart. Who can I call? Bam, my brother's on the phone. I started talking to him, started getting more involved. And actually, that's when I started realizing, like, this stuff on my heart, and, you know, like, it's God. God is calling me. I'm going to go ahead and respond, you know, and I'm going to respond the way I should have been doing the last 5, 10, 15 years of my life, you know?
Yeah.
So then that I went down that route, you know, and it was definitely they call like sanctification, like almost like purifying gold, you know, going through the fires and then wiping off the blemishes, you know. And it was definitely a trial through all that, the learning process, changing my perspective on relationships, you know. That was tough. That was something that held me back. And I think whenever others who I trusted in my spiritual walk, like I trusted my brother to hold me accountable. I trusted my pastor because my brother led me to the church. I trusted my pastor to hold me accountable. Like when those people started seeing change in my life, like because I wasn't looking for it. Like I was pursuing to be changed, but I wasn't looking like, hey, have I changed yet? Have I changed yet? Like I wasn't. I think that's the wrong mindset. The mindset is just that I'm falling in love with Christ, and that's who I'm following, and whatever He says, I'm gonna do. So it wasn't until others started seeing that change in my life that really started sparking that interest of like, you know, like, dang, this is real. Like this is changing. My life is changing, and it was through those people's, you know, affirmation that really drew me into writing music again and stuff like that, and my calling. So I mean, it's a long story, but
nah, man.
Good story. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nah, keep going.
Yeah, but even with that, you know, bringing you to that place.
Yeah.
What do you think that's gonna be like for you in the future? Like, how do you feel you can change the way that you started? You've already started changing the way you started out in music, right? You started rapping a certain type of way. Now you moved on to rapping about a different type of thing. How do you feel like you elevate from that point?
Like the next step forward.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like no matter how much I read my scripture, read other books and stuff like that, I'm never gonna know everything and be prepared for the next trial in life. You know, I just got into a car accident like last week. Like, how am I gonna deal with that? You know, and I think as life continues to throw its blows at me, like the way I'm able to respond to that is my experiences that I can share with others. You know, and I feel like no matter what, I think. Growing up, when we were all searching, we had different phases. Like this is the first thing I've ever experienced. And giving like solid like facts that, you know, this ain't a phase. Like this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And you know, it's hard for me to think of like, man, how am I going to live this out 10 years out, 20 years out? Who am I going to be for the next person up, or the next person I can really pour out into, or my children, my wife, you know, my brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So I think it's just like really being aware that like there's other people in need, there's other people that live the same experiences as you. There's always something that you can be doing. Like there's never going to be a point in my life where I'm like, I've achieved, I'm done. Like I'm just going to sit this out till I die. You know, like there's always going to be something where I can fill in. So like I've always told my friends, like I'm never going to retire. Like I'm going to find a spot. I know I'm going to push and find a place in my career where I know that I'm going to do this the rest of to the day I die, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. You know, like, and so that's how I kind of feel like I'm here for not for my will, not for my purposes, for God. So wherever He takes me, wherever He's, you know, whatever album He has next for me to talk about, like that's what's going to be. You know. So.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I mean, you saying you're not going to stay still or anything like that, you know, which I can tell, you know, you have kind of like the same mind state that, you know, that I think of, like life is about progression. Yeah. You know, you shouldn't get comfortable and just settle for what you have and where you're at currently in life. Yeah. You know, you should always continue to push forward, do better, do greater things, you know, for a greater purpose. Yeah, so, yeah, I respect that, man, a lot.
What's up, man.
Definitely a lot.
So like you said, you know, it kept helping you on your quest.
Yeah.
And it's funny how your quest brought you here to the quest.
Hey.
You know, I got that recorded.
I was in the middle of it. Right after that, he said faith. I was like, this root 2.
That is true. That is true, man. But go ahead, Neezo.
Even with the music though.
Yeah.
Because you know, we found your Instagram and we decided to go research your music. We found like 2 videos on YouTube, which stood out to me because the first one, it seemed like, you know, it seemed like you didn't have too much music on there, but the first one I saw was someone playing an acoustic guitar.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
you
Yeah.
So what made you go that way? Like most people do that later on.
Yeah.
After that, like a song that did well.
Yeah.
You introduced it that way. What made you go through that?
Oh man, you know, I think that was just an opportunity I jumped on. The guy playing the guitar is my good friend David. He is a creative guy, man, artist, musician. You know, he does it all. And shout out to Sam. I'll plug him in a little later. But he had a good friend who just recorded, who had some available studio time, and it's like, hey, you know, we booked a little bit more time than we needed. You know, you want to come in and record a song because he has songs himself. But he gracefully enough just said, you know what, I have somebody in mind. So he actually contacted me, and he and I had worked on some songs together, and we clicked. And so it was the day before he contacted me. Hey, you want to do this? I'm like, let's just do it. Let's jump on it. You know, I have some material that's actually been recorded, and it's in the process of being mastered. I have music videos that are done, but I just haven't released them because I'm releasing singles. So this was kind of like to give to those people who have been faithfully following me, you know, because I feel like I have material, I go places and I perform, and I get tired of saying like, my music's there, you know, like trust me, it's there, but you just gotta be patient with me. So I was like, I gotta give it to the audience, you know, I gotta give to it. And it was a song that I thought of. It's called Window Panes, and that I decided to perform there with the acoustic version. And it was a song that just really meant a lot to me, and I felt like it was the right one, necessary if I was going to do something like that. So I'm a big fan of of acoustic versions of songs, man. I love like live performances and stuff like that, different versions of it, and that's why I decided to go that route. I had the opportunity to do it. Fun fact about it, we had 30 minutes to record. We got there just a little late due to traffic, and it gave us actually 12 minutes. And the guy was like, hey, you want to give it one take, you know, and then we'll do a finalized take? And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. We get in there thinking it's a quick run through. As soon as we get done with that first take, he's like, all right, it's a wrap, let's go. I'm like, hold up, this is practice.
He want to take Drake.
He got me, bro. And I was nervous actually. And then when the video came out, he showed us it, and I was like, perfect. You know, it was organic. It was a run through, but it came out. It's necessary. So
you definitely could tell it was a run through.
Yeah, man.
Playing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So,
I wouldn't have thought.
yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that was a one take.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have thought that.
I mean, y'all were singing together. Did y'all practice that before?
We practiced an hour before we went.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, y'all were very in sync with one another, man. I think it came out dope though.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
because we checked out that one. I went on SoundCloud as well. And saw some.
I haven't updated that in a minute, bro. Yeah.
Now I checked out some of your beats though, man. You had some dope beats on there,
appreciate
man.
it, man. Appreciate it.
What was the other track we checked out? Was well, before we get on it, how did that track come about though? Window Pane.
Oh man, bro. I was a Christian, like dealing with sin, bro. I was going through some rough patches in my life about a year ago, and that's when actually I wrote the song about a year ago. And I was chilling at work, just going through a rough patch in my walk, and I was just like, I felt the guilt. You know, I really felt the guilt, and I used to work at an office job, and unfortunately, I pushed all my priorities aside. I was like, I'm writing this song. Like I feel so impressed in my heart to write this song. So I was just writing about my experiences as just feeling disobedient, or just feeling like I was just in the wrong, you know. And I really needed to express that. I feel like people experience it, you know. I feel like it's a common experience. And nobody's perfect, you know. And sometimes people need to hear their some type of relationship, that same relationship, you know, or that same similarity that maybe can encourage somebody, because as much as I was talking to somebody else, I was definitely talking to myself in that song, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's how about it came, you know.
Okay. What about
Feel it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Feel it, man. Feel it's a funny story, bro.
When that video was dropped?
What was
Don't you got a video for that?
Nah, it's not out yet.
It's not. No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When the video gonna drop?
Yeah. So Feel It music video is gonna drop when I release the single, the actual single, the audio single, which I'm waiting on the videographer just to finish, bro. He's an awesome videographer, a young kid too, man, just so awesome, has a lot of potential. Just waiting for him to finish it up, and then we'll get it out. But Feel It came about. I had a great opportunity. Somebody asked me, he's like, "Hey, you want to perform tonight?" And again, I was at work, and I was like, "Well, I got no material." This is before I wrote my EPs. I was like, "I have no material." And he's like, "Well, let me know." He hit me up like around 12 o'clock. Performance is at 7. I need to let him know by 3. I'm like, it's all last minute, bro.
Pressure.
Yeah, pressure. And so I again sat and put my priorities to the side.
We never do that at work.
we should never do that at work.
No.
I mean, technically, you were still working.
Who not working?
Exactly. Plus.
So, you know, I had a freestyle in my head that I remember because it was a freestyle that I wanted to either perform anytime anybody asked me, like if I had an interview like this, you know, so to say. And I kind of put those together, and I kind of, you know, edited some lines, and I had a beat that was actually a Tribe Called Quest. It was just their relaxation beat instrumental, and I just had that instrumental, and I was just like, you know what, let me grab this instrumental, let me put this to this. And I was sitting there, I was like, if I can write this hook in 1 hour or less, I can confirm to him, like, yeah, I'll do it, because then it'll give me a good another 2-3 hours to remember. And it was a youth event, so I was like, you know what, if it's a youth event, I'm trying to write this quick, let me just come up with something quick and simple and catchy, like. And so I just started saying, you know, do you feel it? Feel it? Do you like it? It was repetitive.
That's a real question.
And it was real, like, yo, bro, like, because I started thinking about it. I'm very intentional with my lyrics. So whenever I started going back on the lyric, I had to write out the freestyle that I had. And when I started looking at my lines, I was kind of like asking for affirmation. Like, do you really feel this song? Do you feel this walk there, or this decision that I'm choosing to go down? You know, and that's how the hook came about. You know, and so I just pieced that two together, performed it, and I was expecting like, oh yeah, that was a cool song. Everybody loved it, and everybody was asking for it, and I decided to do it again. Same response, and then again, same response, and again. That's when I realized, like, I need to sit down and finalize this song. So
yeah.
So that Tribe Called Quest beat, I thought, you know what, people like it because it's got a nice little, you know, hook to it and stuff like that, and the lyrics are dope. But I think they like it because it's got a very nostalgic '90s feeling of because it was the Tribe Called Quest beat. So I'm like, how can I flip this? So I found the sample that they sampled, and I learned how to play it on the piano. Then I played it so it can be like my own version of it, kind of, you know. And then I learned how to play the bass line to it, and I played it and I pieced it all together, and that's how it came about, man. And so it's been a good response from people, you know, to hear Feel It, you know. And
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope because seeing you performing at the Writer's Block.
Oh yeah.
That's the video we found, man. Shout out to the Writer's Block.
Oh yeah, shout out.
Yeah, I went to their little event on Thursday.
Oh okay,
yeah. How was that though? Performing it at the Writer's Block though.
It was dope, man. Good people, man. AJ's, you know, he's dope, man.
Yeah, definitely.
He always looks out for everybody, man. And so it was a good experience. I knew that I decided, you know, if I wanted to apply to this, I wanted to just go there and experience it first, because I didn't want to go in there just blind. Like I just kind of I wanted to do right, you know, and just like give a good little show. And when I went for the first time, I was really welcomed. You know, people just hit me up, asked me questions, and so I decided to apply for their for the Writer's Block. It was not the open mic, but is it the creative night, the bigger night, or something like that?
I know they have the open mic. They got Tacos and Chill.
They have taco and chicken. Yeah. On Tuesday. Actually, this is up and coming Tuesday. They're gonna have taco and chicken. It's like every other Tuesday. But that's the two that I remember. I think there is one more, but I can't remember the name of it.
It's like the bigger event. Like they have like the open mic, and they try to promote through the open mic. Hey, we have something like this, but it's bigger at a bigger venue. And so anyways, I applied for it, and thank God, they gave me the opportunity to do it, and that's why I hit up some of my musician friends, man, and they came through with it and learned the song.
So you knew them who was playing?
The guys who played with me?
Yeah.
Those are some good friends that I've met through performing, through other musical friends, and they plugged me in with them, and so we got together and they learned the tracks, and we performed those. We performed Feel It live there, so yeah.
That has been dope, man.
I like doing it live, man. It's just like you don't see it often, it's like it's like a breath of fresh air, man. You just it's dope, it fits in, So whenever I get the opportunity, the chance to perform with a live drummer or bass and piano or guitar, if I can, I definitely try to go above and beyond and try to do it.
We've learned a lot about you today, which is a good thing. So let us know a little bit about what's to come in the future from you musically and whatever else you got going on.
Yeah, definitely. So of course, we're talking about the Philip, single. I'm pushing for that to be, out within next month. Like that is my goal. Unfortunately, we're waiting for the videographer and stuff like that, but I trust in his abilities and stuff like that to get that done. So we're pushing for that next month, and then have that simmer. Have that create some type of hype so that we can either follow up with either a following single or actually EP. But I have a full EP already recorded that's just getting mixed and mastered at the moment. And once that's done, I'm actually starting to write a follow up because I've had this EP. For the following year, and I want to be able to provide it, but depending on where it's going, like I would really like for it to create, a wave, a following to where, if I can ride it out a couple of months, that's totally fine. Like, I'm trying to get the most out of this potential. But if that means I got to follow it up with something, so I'm just getting prepared for that at that moment, So I've been preparing for the release, or preparing for a lot, when it comes to music videos, writing, a follow-up and or more singles. But other than that, I'm definitely continuing to gig around town, whether it be open mics or different gigs that people are booking me for. I got one actually next week on Friday, September, what's that, the 29th? I believe so. We could fact check that. No?
September 28th.
28th, yeah. I got a gig at, and this is where I plug in my homeboy David. He's the founder and CEO of Pan Dulce, HTX. That is a creative night that is happening every month, last Friday of every month, out in the in the Pasadena area. That's where he's based, but he's always open for having in different areas. So he's having that gig on the 28th, and I'll be out there. I'll probably actually record or perform the acoustic song that I actually have on YouTube. I'll do that one live with him, and I actually will be having another live band out there, so we'll do either one or two more songs in that gig. And I actually have a gig on the Friday's the 28th, right? So correct. Saturday will be the 29th. I got a gig on the 29th as well at Cafeza. I am a part of Tone Crafters. It's a Houston-based label. I ended up doing a signing with them. Shout outs to Tone Crafters back in January, February-ish. But we have some very talented artists. We have a good jazz, but she can rap too. Musician. Her name is Chance Thomas. So she has her album actually dropping soon, so she wants to do a gig before that. So that's what her gig is for on the 29th, and she asked me to come out, and we're actually going to perform the Feel It remix, our version that we did, that she actually...
It's always a remix?
Oh, man! Hey, man, we try to plug in each artist, man. You know, if I can show love to her and get her to show, plug her in on a remix, and I definitely will, and vice versa, you know, so... we are collaborating with the artist and label, man, showing love to each other. So, so she'll be having that performance on the 29th, and I'll be out there, you know, doing the Feel It remix version with her verse, man. She's dope. So that's what I got coming up soon, and like I said, the EP following month, and so now I'm trying to get a hard date, but it is I'm just waiting on timelines to get done on promo, on merch, on stuff like that. So yeah, man.
Okay, so with the EP, you might have said it, I might have just missed it. How many tracks?
So started. This is a hard answer because I started off with 11. I started off with 11. Actually, I started off with 10 with a bonus, and that's closer to an album. But I, if I'm not mistaken, I notched it down to 7 or 8, and I can't remember. And I'm still kind of on the edge of a song, so I'm gonna say 7.
You're gonna say 7?
I can probably count it up, but it's gonna take too long. It's gonna be
at least a solid 7.
Yeah, solid 7.
Solid 7. What was the name?
EP though, right?
Yeah, EP.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah, the name. This is actually the first time I'm dropping the name.
Okay. If you want to keep it, you can keep it.
No, I want to give it for the.
We got a Quest podcast exclusive.
This is the first by the way. Very first.
We got actually for this season. Last season, DJ 4.0, she announced on the Quest podcast that she was starting the 4.0 on the go bus.
Oh wow!
Yeah, well, she pulled up to whatever party she pulled up to whatever party in this big bus, and she DJ. Correct, everything is in there. You can come in there, do karaoke, whatever. Like, it's a dope setup.
Great idea, man.
Yeah, so shout out to DJ 4.0, man. But season 2, first exclusive. Let's go ahead.
The EP that I am dropping within the next month will be called Be Kind, Rewind.
Be Kind, Rewind.
Be Kind, Rewind, man.
Why Be Kind, Rewind?
Oh, man. So when I was writing the EP, I was going through a tough time. It sounds weird because I was writing the EP this time last year and I was getting married. And it wasn't my tough time being married. Like, that's, it was a great time with my wife. Shout outs to my wife. But it was a tough time because a month to the day before I got married, I got fired. I got let go of my job, man. And all my funds were coming from my job and to pay for the wedding and all kinds of stuff, bro. And so, bro, I got let go. I was like, what's next, And when I got let go, thankfully we had enough funds to get the wedding done, man.
Yeah, to carry y'all over. No, I was just saying they had enough to get y'all through it.
Yeah, get us through, man. And so, so I was riding through a tough time in my life, man. Not having fun. So we thankfully got married and found a place. I had enough funds to get to those places, but I was without a job for about a good 2 months into our marriage. And so it was at that time when my wife she was like, you know what? If I got to do double shifts, I'll do them. So she was out hustling. She was doing double shifts, she was a teacher, and then right after she was coming home from teaching, she was going straight to like Target, her part-time job, while I was still trying to find a job. And it was tough, man. Seeing her commitment, I was like, bro, I married the right one. Like, seeing her commitment, and it was just a great time. But in that time, like, it was just, I had no resources, no sources of knowing how to, no sources to create the album. It was either me or nobody else. Like, I had to produce it, I had to write it, I had to record it, And so I did, man. And I was looking for the right title, and that around the time that I was writing it, my pastor had a sermon, and he had mentioned the Be Kind, Rewind, but he was using it in a sense of kind of like stopping and rewinding and reflecting on what God has kind of done for you, kind of like a retrospect. And I saw it, and that hit me, but whenever it was just standing out that he used Be Kind, Rewind, because I had always liked that movie by Mos Def and Jack Black called Be Kind, Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And so because that was just sticking to me behind his meeting, my pastor's meeting as well, but it was just sticking out to me, I decided to go back and watch that movie just for fun's sake. And I started realizing, like, in that movie, they were in a crisis where they lost all the tapes. All the tapes recorded, they just lost it. Like, they had to go back and record all the tapes. They did it homemade. They did it.
Really mad if I that one with Mos Def with the whatever was doing the alien one or whatever. Oh, I would have been so mad at that. I would have been mad at that.
Yeah, I would have been mad too. I love in the movie how they just like, yo, this is what has to be done. We got to do it. Let's do it. And when they did it, they started getting like I forgot what they called it. There's a certain term for it that it was anyways, they started getting the hype for it, and people started liking it, and people started like coming back to them and watching the movies. They wanted to watch their new version of like Rush Hour 2, or like, you know. And so I was like, I felt like I was in that position. I felt like I was coming out. I just lost my job. I was starting off clean. I had to just do it, you know. And I felt like I had to record it, had to write it, produce it, everything on my own. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I feel like I'm in my Be Kind Rewind story right now, and people's responding to it was so like kind of the same, you know. And it was really gaining like a following, and people were really believing in it and the music. And so I was like, yeah, that's right. Like Be Kind Rewind is I felt like is the right title for it. Not only in the sense of like me having to do it homemade, but then like a lot of the songs I'm talking about like grace. Like I'm talking about like struggles that I'm going through right now in my life, and I'm having to remember how God got me through other struggles in my life to really continue to give me hope right now. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a double entendre that just really fit both meanings well, you know?
Yeah.
And so thankfully, man, as I was recording it and I had no experiences mixing and mastering, I decided to try and mix and master it myself. And whenever that wasn't really hitting my, I guess, satisfactory, I started reaching out to people, and that's when I came across my good friend Calvin, who ended up starting the label that I'm actually with now. When I reached out back to him, he was like, his name is Calvin Venus. I'm not too sure. He's the one that runs Tone Crafters.
The name just sounds familiar. I don't know about the last name, but I know of another guy. Does he rap?
No, he doesn't rap.
Okay, no mind.
So when I reached out to him, because he has experience and went to school mixing and mastering, he was like, hey, look, like I'm instead of me doing this for you and charging you just up front, you know, I'm starting out this label, I'm starting it homegrown, and I'm really want to be invested in artists who I feel have potential and really just have good meaning and message. Like they're starting off the way that I'm starting off. And you know, I really want to invest in you, you know. And so he said, instead of just, you know, mixing and mastering, why don't you be a part of my label? Start it off with me, sign with me, and I'll do this, you know, for you. And you know, if it pays off for me, then it does. You know, if it doesn't, then hey, like I believe in what you're doing enough to really invest this into you. So that's how we got back into recording it professionally, or, you know, mixing and mastering it professionally, you know, and that's where I'm at right now, you know, because everything was homegrown and it had that meaning to it, but I felt like pursuing that really gave me the opportunity to redo it with excellence, you know, and so that's where I'm at right now, man. So I know it's a long story, but
man, it's a long story. It might be a long story to some, but it's something that needs to be heard, said and told, man. Because it's a part of you. It's a part of your growth and everything like that, man. I blacked out for a second when saying that. I had a question lined up. So you said you're going to release a video with each single. Now, are you trying to do a video for every track on there?
No.
Or no? Okay.
No. You know, it would be nice to eventually kind of, well, you know, to tell you the truth, it'd be nice for the hype or the EP to have a good response, and I think with that response will then change my decisions to do that.
How many videos you're releasing?
Yeah. Because you wouldn't want to invest money and time into a video if it's like, man, that had no plays. You know, that had it's not circulating well. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely, I guess, waiting on the response. But the responses to the songs that I have shown people and have gotten great responses, like Feel It, you know, is definitely one that we invested the time and money into, you know. So I guess it depends, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this episode 2 of season 2, you know, we haven't did this yet. We didn't do this with the first episode, but we used to do this with the first season. And I want to see how you feel about it, but you mind spitting something, man? You mind spitting something? You can do it, huh?
Because I thought that's
yeah.
with that.
I mean, if you want to go off the top of the head, you can go. I mean, as far as acapella, you can go acapella.
Yeah.
Or if you want to beat, I know you are a producer, so I mean, I'm sure you got something somewhere that you can do, or we can have him beatbox or something, man.
Hey, he started off with Dougie Fresh, right? So.
that's why I went that way. That's why I went that way.
I definitely want to come across with a rhythm. I don't mind acapella though, man. And it's just because, what you call it? I don't know. I'm not the best freestyler off the top of the dome. I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, it's definitely. I feel more comfortable acapella.
Written. No, man. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, man.
Yeah. So I got a verse to a song that's actually on the bonus track. So I'll give you that one.
Another exclusive on the Quest podcast.
All right. It goes. Look. Cooling on my thoughts cause I've been overthinking. Hating on these other rappers jealous cause they made it. While I'm sitting on my last opportunity, this envy in me got me feeling like I'm losing me. But that real in me keeps wondering if they feeling me. Load that clip and pull it cause that doubt is killing me. So after I cock it, I'm shooting and dropping this nonsense is clogging my noggin. I'm finally conscious, I stop it. Cause I know my weakness more than ever. I'm drawing strength upon the Lord to bring me back together. What doesn't kill me makes me better, and what doesn't hold me down just makes me feather. So I guess I'm walking on my stairway to heaven. Yeah, cause I'm sanctified through this life, and like that bottle of wine, I'm perfected with time. I think and boggle my mind to body these lines. I bottle my rhyme and send it down a stream of divine. That's living water for your sons and daughters seeping through their Spotify. Or mothers and your working fathers working hard to keep them lights on and going. We keep on and going, we stay strong and growing, we stay strong and hope to that hope. Jesus, he brought our life achieving, freedom, leading our every steps toward that kingdom, preaching, teaching, heavenly thoughts upon this evening, knowing that you gonna feel it, but I pray that you believe it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm ready for the EP. I'm ready for the EP, man. I'm ready for the EP. Real quick, man, you want to go ahead and plug in social media content where people can find you, SoundCloud, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my name is Messa Montana. That's MESSA _Montana. You can find that, you can plug that into social media, all stages, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow me there. My most, updated posts and things that are most interactive is definitely Instagram. So if you want to stay updated on when music is coming out, definitely head there. There's actually a link on my bio that sends you to my artist page with the label that I'm with. You can sign up for my email listing, so you'll get all the exclusives and first, be the first to know. And yeah, man, just stay updated with that. And yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me though, man.
For us, hit us up and find us at the Quest Podcast on IG. If you're watching this, you're already on YouTube, so watch all of it.
Go ahead and subscribe.
We got the Heat Doctor. Find us on Instagram. We got to put fix your shoes, find your shoes, buy your shoes, sell your shoes. Whatever you need for shoes, we'll do it. We got it. Matter of fact, that's all under Who Not Working. So who not working? Are you not working?
And one more thing. If you like what you hear when it comes to either lyrics or producing, hit me up. I'm always down for features. I'm always down for selling a beat. Just always hit me up. If you're looking for a beat, looking for a beat. If I'm looking for some shoes, I definitely need to.
Oh yeah, man.
So yeah, man, definitely. Appreciate
you know what? Not. I know it seemed like we was about to end it real quick. You said a beat. Do you have a beat on you that you could play to give people a taste of it? Know what I mean? Yeah, all right, cool. You want to play it? You want to play it right now?
I said, do you want to play it?
Oh, you know what? We just going to end it. We going to end it with the beat. We going to end it with the beat. Yeah, that's how we going to do that. And if y'all like the video, man, please like, subscribe. Make sure y'all go follow my man Messy. Make sure you follow the Quest, Who Not Working, Heat Doctor, Parrain, so forth. Retro on the road, even though he's not here, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, comment, tell us what you think, man, and y'all have a good day. Already. That's the Quest.